Welcome to another week of Capital City News. We hope you're taking care, staying safe, and keeping hydrated this summer season. It's been 5 months since the COVID-19 pandemic began in Utah, and Salt Lake County just extended their emergency declaration and mask mandate through the end of the year. As we still work through this pandemic, continue to keep safe by following the guidelines, wearing your mask, and social distancing whenever possible. If you're not feeling well, remember to get tested. Visit coronavirus.utah.gov. On this week's episode, we hear from Celina Milner, the mayor's senior policy advisor for diversity and human rights, about City Connect, a free new Wi-Fi and computer access pilot program. And just in time for the opening of the new SLC airport on September 15th, we have a history minute about 90s blockbuster hit movie Dumb and Dumber and its ties to the Salt Lake City airport. Let's get started with our legislative update and look back.
At its August 18th meeting, the City Council, along with Mayor Mendenhall, adopted a joint resolution formally establishing the Commission on Racial Equity in Policing. The Council adopted a resolution funding capital improvement projects, received updates about the city's response to the pandemic, and were briefed about a variety of other issues ranging from crossing guards and digital equity to land use issues and CARES Act funding. To learn more, visit slc.gov/council.
The city held a COVID-19 Ask Me Anything event with Salt Lake City Mayor Mendenhall and Dr. Angela Dunn, state epidemiologist with the Utah Department of Health. During the event, both Mayor Mendenhall and Dr. Dunn answered questions about how the city and state are responding to the pandemic, shared resource information, and what the public can do to stay safe and help slow the spread of COVID-19. Attention business owners, are you still feeling the effects of COVID-19 on your business? Salt Lake County Small Business Impact Grant and Relief Program is still available. Learn more about the grant and how to apply. The city's Department of Economic Development and Salt Lake County's Regional Development Team will be on hand for a virtual webinar to share details. Tune in on August 26th at 11 a.m. or at your own leisure at facebook.com/SLC Government to learn more about the program and how it could benefit your business. Salt Lake and Davis County residents, if you have damage to your home or business from the Magna earthquake on March 18th or from the aftershocks that followed until April 17th, FEMA is now offering earthquake damage assistance. To learn more, assess your damage and eligibility, and to apply, visit disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362. The deadline to register is September 8th. Ride UTA has restored 90% of its service, which means the city's frequent transit network is back with new and improved levels of service. The 200, 900, 2100 South, and now 200 route on State Street will have expanded hours of service from 4 a.m. to midnight on weekdays and Saturdays, as well as 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sundays. Frequency has also been restored to every 15 minutes on weekdays and Saturdays, and every 30 minutes on evenings and Sundays. For details on COVID-19 safety, complimentary face masks, routes, and more, visit rideuta.com. Now, more than ever, the need for digital equity is even greater. COVID-19 has made it challenging for so many to access internet. City Connect is a new Salt Lake City pilot program offering free Wi-Fi and computer access to those in need. Celina Milner, the mayor's senior policy advisor for diversity and human rights, shares details.
City Connect is a brand new pilot program that Salt Lake City is leading out in, and that is providing internet, community internet, for individuals in Rose Park and Glendale. When COVID happened 6 months ago and libraries closed, schools closed, community centers closed, coffee shops closed, we were quick to realize that digital equity is still very much a part of our community, and we need to pay attention to this. And so it's taken a little bit to get this pilot program off the ground, but there's a lot of partners that are involved. The LDS Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, our IMS department, and some community partners as well, so that we can open up free internet access and computer access for those neighbors and residents of these neighborhoods that don't have access in their home. The internet is still very much a luxury utility that not everyone has available in their home, so we can't take that for granted.
Why is it important for people to utilize it, and how could this program grow?
This program could definitely grow. Why is it important for individuals? Because right now, as families are trying to register to get back to school, everybody's trying to register online, jobs are online, unemployment, workforce, telehealth, all of our doctor's appointments are online, the census is online. Everything has kind of gone online over the last 6 months. And again, that's great if you have access to a strong, stable Wi-Fi internet connection in your home. And some families and some neighborhoods still don't have that. So we brought this City Connect program to the neighborhoods and to the areas that we feel like there are people that still need to use it.
As we're thinking about these things, why is it you think sort of that digital divide and that digital equity is something that people aren't as aware of? Like, why is that sort of off people's radar?
That's a great question. It was off people's radar for quite a while. I've been beating the digital equity drum for a long time. And in the past, whenever you said, well, you know, sometimes people don't have digital equity in their home, the answer was, well, they can go to their local school, they can go to their local library, they can go to their local community center, you can go to any, you know, pretty much any coffee shop around and just use public Wi-Fi right there. When all of that closed in the middle of March, then we quickly realized that all information about a public health order was being distributed online and digitally. And so we still have to make sure that the information is reaching individuals who are maybe not as plugged in and connected as others.
Why is it important for the city to address digital equity generally, not just during the pandemic? Why is that incumbent upon us to do that?
Again, just because everything has gone online, you know, access to a lot of services over the last 10 years, digital equity has kind of been increasing, and digital equity efforts have been increasing because there's been a wider gap of digital inequity, literally infrastructure of broadband. When we talk about digital equity, there's 3 components of digital equity. So you're talking about the physicality, internet, broadband, Wi-Fi access. You're talking about access. Secondly, you're talking about devices. Again, some of us have access to a lot of devices, some of us don't. The third thing is also digital literacy. When schools and everything immediately went online, and that soft open, even in the soft opening of going online, you have to be very careful that families are connected, have the devices, and the parents and the students both have the digital literacy to navigate this. So the city is stepping into the gap where maybe service providers haven't reached the west side and different communities. They haven't quite reached the expansion that they're needing. So the city is just stepping into the gap, making sure that everybody has access.
If I am trying to help someone who needs access to internet, where do I tell them to go?
I tell them to follow the signs. We have old school signs that have gone up with really beautiful Salt Lake City logos that say City Connect. And you can kind of see this is almost like old school internet cafes. It really is. And it's open. Some of us remember those, but you follow the links. And I know that there's evening hours, there's morning hours, the Sorensen Unity Center. Sometimes you have to make an appointment, but you just want to go online and check out. And so I know that a lot of community members like myself and like everybody else, we're really checking on our neighbors. Do you need access to the internet? There are some Wi-Fi hotspots available in the area, but if they need to go sit down somewhere and plug in, take a lot of time, fill out whatever they need to fill out for their child's school registration, they can go to the Rose Park City Connect and also the Glendale City Connect and find those hours of operation for their family members. And when you go, you'll see signs that say open, the doors are open, the windows are open. What's really nice about it is they have a sanitation station as soon as you walk in. If you don't have a mask, you can pick up a mask, you can get some hand sanitizer. Safe and socially distant computer areas are there. There's people to help, there's IT on hand. But this really is, I mean, we're having this beautiful conversation on Zoom on a stable internet connection. This interview will go out digitally and virtually. So I really want to make sure that people in the community know they're checking on their neighbors, their friends who may not have access to the internet. They can go there, fill out their private information, apply for whatever they need to apply, get their kids registered, fill out the census, sign up for pandemic EBT. I mean, there's so many needs right now that are only available online. We really need to make sure. So we're piloting this program and hoping that the news spreads far and wide.
Now it's time for our History Minute.
Dumb and Dumber was released in 1994, the first film from the Farrelly brothers. Starring Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, it quickly became a cult comedy hit. Utah was the shooting location for much of its key locations, with Salt Lake City serving a large chunk of iconic moments from the film. The old Salt Lake City Airport, which was replaced in 2020, served as the airport in the film where Jim Carrey drops off Lauren Holly and gets into untold amounts of trouble when he tries to return her briefcase. This kicks off an entire film full of adventures of Carrey and Daniels working to return the briefcase back to Holly. They begin at home, which was the Smith Apartments at about 3rd East and 2nd South, and travel to Aspen, which was shot all over the state. Near the film's climax, Carrey and Daniels find themselves at a posh party that utilized 2 incredible Salt Lake locations. The exterior was the Devereaux Mansion, and the oversized interior was just across the street in the Union Pacific building. The film was one of 3 that helped propel Jim Carrey to stardom. Alongside The Mask and Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber was a #1 box office hit for the weekend of its release in 1994. Director Bobby Farrelly told City Weekly in a 2014 interview that they had a fantastic time in Salt Lake and, quote, "I always had a soft spot in my heart for Salt Lake City after that."
Well, there you have it. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Capital City News. Join us next time to stay up to date on all the latest. For SLC TV, I'm Poonam Kumar.